See? Not so bad.
Hi everyone, Zachary Renn here, and I was thinking about I might start my own King Kong fan film someday. Of course, Big Jack Films did a good job in his King Kong remake in year 2016. Even the cast are really good, including the creatures and the dinosaurs like the raptor-sized Carnotauruses, even the Parasaurolophus as the sea monster, and even he did a good job on the costumes for Kong and the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You did good, Big Jack Films, and even all the King Kong fans did their fan films, and maybe it gives me the opportunity to start my own. Of course, I might get the cast and the crew for my King Kong fan film someday, but until I do, let me tell you the story for the plot for my remake of King Kong. In New York City during the Great Depression, just like you see in Peter Jackson's remake, everyone's very unhappy. But it might change today when Scooty Ono, his succubus girlfriend Kumu Carano, along with George Shrinks and his girlfriend Becky Lopez, join the movie business together with their adult friend Carl Denham. They did a great success on the show with him, and they sold millions of dollars. And after they closed the show, Carl decided to start his movie in the open adventure on the open seas. Kermu and Scooty will be happy, along with George and Becky. Although, when Carl's finding a lady for his movie. But then, we're at the fruit stand, when there's a female-like hand that's trying to reach for an apple, George heard a scream. And then the scream came from Ann Darrell. And then Carl might have found his leading lady. But when Ann said it's only an apple, the guy says, only an apple? You see these things grows from trees? Then Carl's assistant Preston pays for the apple. Well, Carl takes Ann to dinner. She must be hungry, and this happened. Meanwhile, at the diner, it's Carl, George, Becky, Scooty, Kumu, and Preston having dinner. Carl assists Ann to be in his movie, but Ann wants it short when Carl says, "What's the matter, Ann? Afraid of failure? Afraid you're not good enough?" But George promises Ann it's going to be fun. Even Kumu agrees. Even Ann really earns the kid's trust, and after that, she did it and signed the contract. Meanwhile, at the SS Venture, as everyone's getting set up, Preston tells Carl the bad news. As Ann looks at the ship and the crew, Preston warns Carl that the studio called the cops. And then when Carl's assists, they leave immediately. Meanwhile, as Jack Tracer was 15 minutes late, he gives Carl the script, but until suddenly, the script is only 15 pages short. And then when Carl was planning to do a feature-length movie, but when Carl tried to stall Jack enough time, and then the whistle of the SS Venture blew. And then Jack says, "Oh, Christ," and make a run for it. And when he's ready to get out of the ship, he's too late when he says, "God damn it." And meanwhile, as the crew, the studio, and the cops showed up, they're already too late. And then when Carl might have a chance to do his movie after all. And then when Jack says, "I want to do it for the money," and I might have loved it. And then when Carl says, "No, you don't. If you really loved it, you would have jumped." And even the adventure voyage of Skull Island began. As they leave New York, and won't be back in a couple of months as the ships are in the open ocean. Meanwhile, Anne was pretty comfortable about this voyage, and even George and Becky given Anne quality time along with Goonie and Kuruma to get to know her. And even Anne was very comfortable with that. And even George, Becky, Kuruma, and Goonie had given Anne a good bond. And after that, Anne really earned the kids' trust, and they became best friends. And even when their friendship started, in the few days of filming, as the ships in the open ocean and got into the fog, Jimmy might have seen a big wall when he screamed, "Whoa! There's a wall ahead!" Everyone was shocked as they see the wall getting cleared out from the fog. And after that, everyone have arrived to Skull Island. Meanwhile, at Skull Island, the crew encountered the natives and even saw the prophecy of Khan, the dinosaurs, even the evil one, Gorosaurus. When the chief saw Anne, he said, "Holy moly!" But until suddenly, as the chief's daughter, the princess of the natives, saw George shrinks, she thinks George is very cute and want him as her fiance or her sibling. But she wants some time to think about it. Even George liked to be her sibling, but he needs some time to think about it too. And even they got time. However, when Jack shoot the gun at the spear, the natives were shocked as they made a run for it. And everyone made a run for it. The natives go after them. But when they're surrounded, Englehorn shoot the gun at the spear too. When he spooked the natives and run away, when the Englehorn says, "I seen enough." Meanwhile, as the crew are fixing the SS Venture, Englehorn suggested they could go to the other side of the island. Even Carl thinks it's a good idea to play it safe so he could finish his movie. But they didn't think through as the natives sneak on board. Meanwhile, as Anne and George are on the deck trying to get to know each other, but until suddenly, when they're surprised, George saw one of the natives behind her cover Anne's mouth to stop her from screaming. When he tried to push her in and drop the necklace, Anne was fallen overboard. So George going out on a rescue mission, so he's not going alone as Becky, Skune, Kurmu, and the crew of the SS Venture, including Captain Englehorn, Jack Driscoll, and Carl Denham, are going with him. Anyone had carried weapons and gas bombs and the chloroform grenades. Meanwhile, at the island, Anne was served as a sacrifice to Khan, a giant silverback gorilla. And as Khan getting closer to Anne, she was in shock, as he's so huge. Meanwhile, as the crew are trying to find Anne, Carl saw Khan in his own eyes and took Anne away. So the crew are going inside the wall to the jungle to rescue Anne, and even get some footage. Meanwhile, as they're getting closer to the territory, they get attacked by a Feroceratus, and even a herd of Brontosaurus getting chased by a pack of Phanatosaurs. And when they got attacked by a man-eating giant Pteranodon. And even they got out of the water alive. Oh, except for one guy that's trying to get out of the water. And the Pteranodon got him from behind and shake him around like a chew toy and pull him underwater. And Carl got it on footage when Lumpy says, "You get that, did you?" And crewman was scared. But George is not giving up as they try to rescue Anne. Even Becky is going to help, along with Skune too. And even Kurumu feels better when she pushes her boobs on Skune, being a lovey-dovey. Well, Bruce Baxter, going back to the wall, he's going to get attacked by a Fastetosaurus Rex. And even he's in shock when he sees a Fastetosaurus Rex up close. Meanwhile, as Baxter was trying to make a run for it, the fat Stegosaurus Rex cut his arm off, along with his legs, and even killed and devoured him when he fell into the T-Rex's gullet. Meanwhile, as the crew are getting closer to the log bridge, they get attacked by King Kong himself when he killed Mr. Hayes. And when he pushed the log over the pit, and the crew getting attacked by giant worms and bugs. George, Becky, Kurumu, Scooty, Jack, Eaglehorn, even Carl survives. And so they're gonna find rescue Anne, while Carl goes back to the wall. But to their surprise, the princess and the natives followed them and wants to talk to George. Even George likes to talk, so as the princess got to George, she grabbed him in a big squeeze and ran him out, and she asked him if she wants to be his big sister. And even she asked that, George will be happy too, and she wouldn't be happier. Meanwhile, Khan battles the pack of Tarposauruses, and even and surprise, Khan finally defeated and killed the queen of the Tarposauruses. When he killed the queen of the Tarposauruses, he gives out a victory roar. Meanwhile, at Khan's lair, Khan takes Anne to the waterfall so he could get Anne all soaking wet. And even as Anne is soaking wet now, he used his banana breath to pull his hair dry on her body. And even get attacked by a pair of pteranodons and even a big giant snake as it constricts Khan. And meanwhile, as Jack, Scooty, Kurumu, George, Becky, and even the princess and the natives got into Khan's lair, Becky saw and found Anne when she's standing on the edge while Khan battled the predators. And even the heroes are going up and rescue Anne and get her out of here while Khan's still battling the predators. And as the predators got defeated, Khan's roared in anger goes after Anne. And when they jumped to the waterfall, they made a big splash. And even the crocodiles are not in the mood for humans as they have a taste for fish. But until suddenly they get attacked by a pack of Thanatosaurs again. And even they chase them. And even the heroes run as fast as they could back to the wall as the Thanatosaurs followed them. And even back at the wall, Anne saw Carl and Engelhorn are planning something with the chloroform grenades. And even when they planned to capture Khan alive and something more. And even when Anne is planning, she's shocked. Engelhorn pulled out the chloroform as they planned to do something while everyone's well injured and even well armed. But then Khan appeared as he got through the wall. But he's not alone. And even so one of the crew got killed and countered by the Stegosaurus Rex again. But not only one Stegosaurus Rex, but make it 3 Stegosaurus Rexes. And even the Stegosaurus Rexes battle Khan and get them distracted. But then George, Becky, Scooty, and Kurumu get encountered by a female Stegosaurus Rex as they got close, but Jack distracted her. As the female Stegosaurus Rex got distracted, Jack took Anne to the cave, but the T-Rex got snapped on Jack's arm when he screams in pain. When Anne ran him in, the T-Rex tried to reach for him with his tiny arms, but it's too short for him. So she went to the battle with the other T-Rexes, but when Engelhorn says now, they plan to capture both Khan and the Stegosaurus Rexes. But the T-Rexes roared in anger, and even the kids are worried as they might about to kill Anne and the crew. But the crew are not giving up when Carl says, "Are you out of your mind?" Engelhorn throws the chloroform at the T-Rexes and Khan, but it's not strong enough. When they saw getting out of the traps, and as they're getting intelligent. And when even the T-Rexes give the evil grin, and even they saw the T-Rexes roared in even more anger as they killed the crew, and so much scarier. As Khan and the T-Rexes are free after the juvenile's death, at least 2 T-Rexes left. And even when they battled Khan, as the Battle of the Kings continue, Carl Danner was standing on a rock and for the chloroform grenade at both Khan and the T-Rexes. And as the steam from the chloroform was so strong, they put the T-Rex duo and Khan asleep. As they're full asleep, they're so happy it's all over. But it's just the beginning. Even they might have some use for those creatures when Carl says, "The whole world will pay to see this." And it was going to be exciting. "We're millionaires, boys, and I'll share with all of you. And we'll put the dinosaurs in the zoo, and in 3 months, his name will be lights on Broadway. Khan, the 8th wonder of the world." Meanwhile, Broadway, as in here right back, everyone is getting ready for the biggest show of all shows, Khan, the 8th wonder of the world. But Anne is really worried of what's going to happen to Khan, even the dinosaurs, if they break loose. But Carl will guarantee everyone's safety for both the show and the zoo. And when Carl tells everyone about the adventure, and even raised the curtains to show everyone King Kong. But Carl assured them that these chains are made out of chrome steel. And the audience cheered. And even the newspaper takes pictures of Khan, and when they saw Khan roared in anger, even he's getting angry. Meanwhile, Carl brings Anne to the stage. She's the beauty that lured the beast. And even not only that, Carl will bring out his friends. George, Becky, Scooty, Kurumu, even the princess and the natives that George named her Chloe. And Chloe is worried about the legendary dinosaurs from the prophecy might rise. But the newspaper crew is still taking pictures, and Khan is getting more mad. And even Carl's trying to stop them, and he's thinking they might attack a girl. But then Carl see Khan try to break free through the chains and even loose. Not only that, back at the zoo, the Thanatosaurus and the Fastetosaurus Rexes broke loose as well. It started killing people. And even Khan got out of the fear, and everyone run into panic. But then when Khan found Anne, he sees Anne's resting as the doctor's orders. But then Khan grabbed her when Jack tried to save her, but it's no use. But until suddenly when George, Becky, Scooty, and the others tried to save Anne, they say the ground shook as the legendary dinosaur kaiju Gorosaurus risen as the prophecy has been fulfilled. But then Khan will battle the Gorosaurus in the biggest battle of all. But Khan is no match for this kaiju dinosaur. When Khan tried to battle it, Gorosaurus was too strong. But when Gorosaurus takes a bite on Khan's arm, he throws him through the biggest building and snap his arm broken. And even bite his toes, and even slash Khan at his chest, and so they lose blood. He killed him. And then when Khan loses, Gorosaurus takes a bite at the arm again and throws him to the ground again and throws him to this death. Now that Khan's dead, Anne is really sad. And even when the kids got the bond with the Thanatosaurus, the Gorosaurus appeared. And when the Thanatosaurus about to battle the Gorosaurus, but she knocked one out unconscious. As the last remaining Thanatosaurus battled the Gorosaurus, but it's not strong enough when Scooty says we need more teeth, so Kurumu, Scooney's succubus girlfriend's going out to find more teeth while the predators are fighting each other, but the Finatosaurs are losing. And then George tried to go somewhere to hide safe when Gorosaurus found him and he tried to attack. And even Scooney was very scared, but then Kurumu found one of the Vastatosaurus Rexes, and the other T-Rex will come sooner or later. And she'll bring one of the T-Rexes here. While the Gorosaurus battled George and the others and about to get him, Kurumu bring back the T-Rex for the final battle, the Battle of the Queens. And when she flew the flare at the Gorosaurus, the Vastatosaurus Rex roared at it. And even might battle. As the Gorosaurus and the T-Rex battle each other, even the Gorosaurus winning and the T-Rex keeps winning, but the Gorosaurus slashes and bites him, just like the Ofdarkness did to Rexy in Jurassic World. But then, when the Gorosaurus about to finish the T-Rex off, it got saved by the last remaining Finatosaurus. And even the T-Rex and the Finatosaurus battled the Gorosaurus as the battle hit pretty good. And even when the female T-Rex and the Finatosaurus battled the Gorosaurus, another T-Rex appeared as it battled Gorosaurus as he threw it to the dock. And when the Predators gives out the biggest roars, the Pteranodon which somehow got off Skull Island and got the Gorosaurus and take a big bite on his neck and pull him underwater and drowning it and really killed it so that the Pteranodon might enjoy his feast. Well, the T-Rexes and the Finatosaurus look at each other. They declare a truce and might insert their new lives on the mainland. Even George, Becky, Scooney, Kurumu, and even along with George's big sister Chloe are heroes of the prophecy, and Jack and Ann were proud. Meanwhile, at Main Street, as the photography crew saw the dead body of Khan after the Gorosaurus killed it. They took the pictures of Khan, and even Carl disappeared and never seen or heard from again after what happened. And even when the cops said show's over, and even when they saw and asking how did Khan sacrifice himself when he's battled the dinosaur, but they said the dinosaur's gone. But if I want Big Jack Films in my remake, and then he'll say it wasn't the dinosaurs, it was Beauty that killed the beast. And even they lived happily ever after while they dealing with the dinosaurs on the mainland. And of course, that's all I have from my King Kong fan film. So what do you guys think? You think I might make the best King Kong fan film in cinematic history? So please give me a like, subscribe, and comment when you had the time. And also, if Big Jack Films doesn't want to be in the main King Kong fan film, I understand. But I might find somebody, and even I might need some help to come on the cast and the film crew. So please comment when you have the time, and have a nice day.